do you sit on the toilet facing the back part?
tank?
Yeah.
Only if there's a mirror there.
Welcome back to Don't Make It Awkward, because we're going to talk about it anyway.
I'm Josh.
And I'm John. Little awkwardness there.
That was weird.
Hey, so our last podcast with Matt, did we talk about how we were changing the name?
we
Okay.
did.
I've forgotten
Yeah.
already. So we won't talk about it again.
No.
Okay. We have a guest today. Today, it's the first time we've recorded during the daytime. You notice it?
Yeah, I was going to say,
It's incredible.
it is a little bit weird.
Yeah. Usually it's late at night.
We've never done it before, 10:30 p.m.
Late night talk show podcast.
Not now.
No,
It's early
not
in the
now.
day.
Yeah. Our guest is my incredibly good friend Stephanie.
Hello.
Do you want a nickname on the podcast?
Gosh, I should have thought of that.
Like Josh's nickname is Josh.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very
It's not my
fitting.
real name. It's my nickname.
So, I mean, if you want,
I'll have to think about it. I
Okay.
mean, you've known me longer than anybody in this room, so you might
Yeah.
have to come up with that.
Stinker Buggy.
That's been one that's followed me for a long time, yeah.
Well, that's a real one.
I mean, I've never called you that.
No, nobody does. It's, the email I picked when I was 12. And it's just kind of followed me everywhere, so I just keep using it.
All right.
Okay.
Or you
Stinker Buggy.
well, no.
There it is.
Let's okay.
SB.
Man.
SB.
Yeah.
Well, better
I'm not
than
going to say
S-
Stinker Buggy the whole time.
You could just call me Stephanie for now. Or Steph.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
Whatever.
This is really hard so far.
I know. All right.
Well, thank you for coming on the
My
podcast.
pleasure.
I didn't get you a number one fan's T-shirt
That's okay.
like I had promised,
That's okay.
but that's because I'm cheap,
That's okay.
and I did make you cupcakes instead.
You did. Special cupcakes.
They are.
Gluten-free cupcakes.
Now, let's be clear.
Not special cupcakes. Special for me.
Yes. Okay.
Wait,
You know what's special?
Like special brownies.
Special brownies, special cupcakes.
well,
Just wanted to make sure everybody was clear that,
Not that kind of special.
yeah.
you don't know that.
I guess I don't know that.
You weren't here when I
was
made
under
them.
the assumption this is a drug-free podcast.
Okay, I will let you continue in that assumption.
Okay, great.
Great.
Thank you.
Hey, so today our topic is the quantum mechanics of dating.
Yes.
So it's pretty intense.
Yeah, it's going to be really smart.
Really scientifically proven.
Yeah,
Right?
because all dating advice is good coming from us.
I agree.
And our expert that we have on the,
Oh,
on
yes.
the podcast.
Yeah, we
Yes.
specifically invited Stephanie on because of her expertise
Yeah.
in dating.
Lack of dating. I'll do my best. I will.
Hey, so I have a question for you guys just real fast before we get started in some of our stories.
Okay.
In the dating world, there's usually people who are, the people who are asking a lot of people out, right? And then the people who are being asked, right? Were you someone that was always trying to get people to ask you out, or were you always the one throwing yourself out there? I know that all of us have an extensive dating history. Not together necessarily,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
so were you the someone going out and trying to, date others, or were you always, sitting back getting asked?
I'll let Stephanie take this one first.
I never asked. I was always super nervous to ask. I mean, I had like a steady boyfriend in high school, and so I didn't really have to worry about it then. But then once, life moved on and that was over, I wanted to be asked, but I just never was, and I was far too shy to go out and do it myself. So I spent a lot of time not dating. Which is why I'm in no way an expert on this topic. But I wanted to be asked. I wanted to. But Everyone says because other people were shy and that I was intimidating, which I never understood ever because I'm not an intimidating person.
No, okay, fine, you're not.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
we get it.
Ease up. Yeah. I didn't really ask. I mean, I had to. If I was asking someone, it's because my friends were encouraging me to ask. But as far as that goes, it was a little bit of both. But I didn't. It's surprising probably to the listeners, but I really didn't do much dating either.
That does surprise me.
Yeah. So, but just a few in high school. But I also was very timid and shy to ask anybody out.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to make it sound really lame for anyone who's listening, but I felt like I did try to put myself out there a few times because I was brave only a few times in my life in high school.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, it was more like you're so nervous, as I'm looking at Mr. Manager. You're so nervous dealing with the opposite sex, especially, in the high school kind of era of your life. You're just trying so hard to be accepted, and then not be that weird, awkward kid that's, I like you, you want to go on a date with me?
Those are the ones that always had the courage to ask me. Was those ones. And I always said yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that no matter what, if it's in high school or out, luckily I didn't really have to do much out of high school, but dating, and this is, I would think for most people, is just completely awkward and weird.
Yeah.
And just thinking back on trying to date is just horrible.
It makes you really glad that you're not
Makes
doing
me think
that
it's
anymore.
over.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Like, could you imagine dating now? Like, as an adult?
I mean, a lot of people do that,
Absolutely.
right? And so,
but it's hard for me to put myself in that, well, if anything ever happened to my husband and I had to date again, I would just be this awkward crying, like, I don't know.
well, we have
That'd be me too.
Mr. Manager and I have friends, right, that are single adults, and they hate the dating scene, obviously, because it's just a bunch of bullshit. It's just, imagine how crappy it was in high school, and then just move it into adulthood. It's still awkward, it's still stupid.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing with high school is at least there you have some people you could meet. Like once you're an adult, I don't know this because I haven't dated as when I was older, but it's like there's only so many places you could meet people unless you're going to school or something. Because I guess you could meet people at a bar, but
Or online.
Yeah, which is becoming popular.
You could possibly like a similar podcast and be chatting about it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very
Online,
likely.
Ours-
I'm sure it happens.
Ours could be the #1 podcast Facebook page that brings people together
yeah,
in committed relationships.
that's something we should strive for, I think.
Okay, Josh, you're going to go first. We want a funny... It doesn't need to be funny. Just give us a story.
No, this is going to be a serious, heartbreaking story.
Great. I love a good drama.
No, not really. So, early on in middle school, technically, we weren't, me and my brother weren't supposed to date until we were 16. So, if my mom listens to this, I attempted to date before I was 16. So, this is about 7th grade, and I think around 7th grade, there was a girl that I really liked, and I'm pretty sure she liked me. I don't know.
Why wouldn't she?
Yeah, I was just as good looking then as I am now, minus the beard. And so I don't know how this began, but somehow through the grapevine, I found out that she wanted to date me. Not go on a date, but what do you call it? Go steady.
Right.
I don't know.
Or
is that
be
from the
boyfriend
50s?
and girlfriend.
I don't know. Yeah, be boyfriend and girlfriend. So this is all in a one-day stretch, okay? So this is early on. I found out, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm all nervous now. I don't remember how old I was, but this is crazy, right? So take a few, classes to figure. I'm like, okay, yeah, this sounds good. So somehow through the grapevine again, I let her somehow know that yes, we are dating.
Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's date. And so it goes through, and I think I saw her once in the hallway. And I'm looking at her like, yep, I'm dating, but I didn't talk to her anything yet. So here's where it gets really bad. So
Oh, that we
here's where
were
it
done.
here's where it takes a turn for the worse. So it's like the end of the day, and I think she was at her locker or something. So I'm like, okay,
This is the same day.
this is all in a day.
Okay.
So I finally okay, I got to go talk to her now because she's my girlfriend. So I go up and I don't remember exactly what I said. So I'm like, so we're like dating and stuff. She's like, gets really awkward. She's like, I already have a boyfriend. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
I pretty sure I heard that we were together.
Somebody told me.
See, someone
Hey,
told me. who
Fourth
told them-
period. You said you
Yeah.
wanted to go
Right.
steady.
So she breaks that news to me, and I'm like, oh man, this is terrible. So I hurry and get away, and then I'm like, okay, well now I need to know who she's dating, who ruined our lives.
So you could
together.
fight him. So you
Right,
could fight him.
exactly. Which is funny you bring that up because finally I see who it is, and I think maybe I've seen him before. He's like a foot and a half taller than me, starting to grow a goatee already because I'm pretty sure he was a couple grades over.
Yeah.
Wearing a Metallica shirt, which.
Oh, so
Which-
this guy was
yeah.
a badass.
So yeah, and I was into Metallica, but I don't even think I had a Metallica shirt by then. And probably the worst part
You
is,
like Metallica? I like Metallica.
yeah,
both
hey,
like the same girl.
like the same girl.
We should just share.
that was a good idea. I should have done that. And he was like the nicest guy ever, which made it even worse. And I'm pretty sure now they're like engaged or married.
Wow.
Yeah,
That last part's a lie.
serious.
I'm calling total bullshit on the last part.
I'm dead serious.
Well, I'm glad you didn't break it up then. I mean, with your good looks and everything.
Break them up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I totally could have.
Yeah.
So that was my first.
What was your first time dating?
Really was, and it was kind of a bad experience.
A full day.
Yeah, a whole day
Good job.
in my mind.
Nice.
Do you want to go next, Stephanie, or do you
I
want
could
me
go
to do
next.
it?
I
Okay,
could go next,
let's
sure.
hear some. Wait, sorry, Steph. I'm stepping on your toes
That's
after I just offered you to go next.
Sorry,
Would you like
I
to
am
go?
talking.
Hang on.
So I actually have a story about my first dating, also like my first girlfriend.
Okay.
And I had the same kind of question about what was the first thing you said, to say we're dating or we're boyfriend and girlfriend, right? And I had friends. This is in the 6th grade,
Okay.
so we were all really smart, and we knew what the vernacular was for all this, right?
Yeah.
I always said, you have to ask specifically, do you want to be my girlfriend? And they told me, no, you have to ask them, do you want to go out with me? And we fought about it, me and my guy friends. So and going steady was never part of the conversation, but maybe we should have added that into the multiple choice.
Well, I think that's from like the 50s or
Yeah,
something.
that's
but
old school.
Yeah.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
But we-
What's the right way to ask when you're in 6th grade?
I don't know if there's a right way, but I would assume that if you say, you said, what was the first thing? Do you want to go out with
Do you
me?
want to be my girlfriend / boyfriend?
Okay, yeah.
Or do you want to go out with me?
See, to me, go out with me just sounds like, do you want to go out on a date?
Mm-hmm.
So
Agreed.
that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, so all my friends in 6th grade were wrong.
Yeah.
So I hope you all listen to this
Yeah.
and know that I was right. Go ahead, Steph. On that note.
The serious look on your face.
Yeah, he wanted that vengeance to
Oh,
them.
that felt
Man,
so good.
good.
Because what I say goes.
It's like therapy for John here.
yeah.
Okay, well, like I said before, I had a boyfriend in high school, and when I was 17, I left where we lived before, and I came to Utah, and I didn't really have a lot of friends. I mean, I had you, sort of, because you were all doing your own thing with your own girlfriends.
She's talking about John.
John, sorry.
She wasn't friends
John
with
was
Not
already
Josh.
here, and then I kind of followed him here on accident. But he was busy with his other girls, and so
Whoa.
I was left. I didn't come here to shame you. I'm sorry, but I was kind of
No,
left
do all
with.
the shaming you want. It's great.
Aren't we getting things off our chest here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine. This is good.
Anyway, and so I didn't really have a lot of friends, and I didn't know a lot of people at the high school. And this one boy, who I did not know at all. I knew who he was, but I did not know him. And I think I remember his name, which I won't tell you, but he did have a nickname, and I don't remember if it was if it was Gremlin or Goblin or something like that. I know. These were the kind of people that wanted
sounds
to go
cool,
out
though.
with me.
What? Why was that his nickname? Do you know? I don't know who you're talking about, by the way.
Okay, well, I mean, he just was not a very attractive
Gotcha.
human being.
Okay.
Very nice, just not very attractive.
So someone else gave him the
Yeah.
nickname?
Well, I imagine his mom doesn't call him that.
I mean, she could just be a realist and know,
Yeah. She's like, you're never
Sorry,
gonna.
Mom, that's just how it is.
We're just gonna tell everyone
Sorry.
because they can't see how ugly you are, so we have to tell them.
That's right.
Right.
Anyway, so whatever his nickname was, some kind of creature, he asked me out, and I said yes because I'm nice, and I, of course I didn't see it going anywhere because I wasn't really interested, but I went
Because he looked like a gremlin.
Yeah, well,
Or goblin.
no, he was very nice from my memory. In fact, I didn't even really get to talk to him very much because he took me to the movies, which of course is what high school kids do. But as far as
Probably.
the first date goes, that's probably not the best date.
Probably
to go
the
on.
worst.
Yeah,
date.
well, you don't get to talk to anybody. You just
Right.
sit there and watch the movie, and then he took me home. So, he picks me up, and I, everything is fine and dandy. I'm going to be nice, of course. And we go to the movies, and we sit down. I remember we saw Anger Management, that Adam Sandler movie.
That's always a good movie to take a girl to.
Exactly.
Is an
Always.
an Adam
It's
Sandler,
an Adam Sandler movie.
Yes.
And I'm not a huge Adam Sandler fan, but he wanted to watch it. So I was like, okay, that's fine,
All right,
So we
Grammy,
go.
let's go see that.
Come along, Goblin. Let's go watch Anger Management.
That's right. So we go and we sit down and we're eating our popcorn, and I love popcorn, but I do not did you hear I said that? I do not like the way it makes people's breath smell. Movie theater popcorn breath is disgusting.
Okay.
Okay. And he ate a lot of it. And
Ooh.
so, he kept, the thing that was hard about this date is he kept trying to talk to me during the movie. And he'd lean in really close because we're in the theater, and he's talking to me, and he's breathing down my neck just with this awful popcorn breath, and I'm trying to smile and be polite.
Is he trying to whisper, like, do you like movie
No,
popcorn?
that's what the things he was, he was trying to get to know me. So he was like, how do you like living in Utah? And I'd say, oh, it's good.
It's kind of stinky.
I'd be like, I don't have any friends, so I'm so glad No. So I was like, it's good. It's kind of a lot like, Colorado where I came from, but it's, it's okay. And he's like, how many siblings do you have? And he's asking me all these questions, like, do you like dogs? Do you like cats? And asking me all these questions. Take me to dinner and I'll talk to you. I will, but take me to a movie. You shut your face so we can watch the show. It was really annoying. I'm not a nice person. Anyway.
That sounds nice.
Well, you said yes to him.
Well, I did.
yeah.
I normally try to be nice, but I was getting super annoyed because it kept
Yeah,
going.
I get it.
We're like halfway through the movie, and he's trying to keep carrying on this conversation with me. And there's people all around us. The movie wasn't out very long, and he just keeps talking. Like, what's your favorite color?
So
You
the
know,
real
things like
question
that.
is,
Listen,
Oh.
I'm not done.
oh,
So finally,
Shut your mouth.
I told you
No,
I was
my-
nice.
Don't be like him in the movie theater. He wouldn't shut his
That's right.
mouth.
it's not my podcast.
At least your breath doesn't stink.
Okay, go ahead.
So he keeps talking. And so finally, I'm trying not to show him that I'm super annoyed by this because I've missed half the movie because I keep having to lean over and listen to what he's saying.
And it's a good movie.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Okay, sorry.
Pretty sure it won an Oscar that year. But he says, so what kind of things do you like to do? And I leaned over and I, as politely as I could, said, I like to watch movies in silence. And he didn't ask me out again, which was okay.
Did he keep? But he stopped talking to you also.
Well, I
Or
mean,
at least-
the thing about dating in high school is that if things go badly or you don't want to ask them out again, you still have to see them every day at
It's
school.
true. Yeah.
And so maybe that's a benefit for dating as an adult because you don't have, I mean, you can ignore people, but, I saw him all the time at school. But he never asked me out again.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, that's
and
good, though.
And needless to say, right? Gremlin did not get any action that night.
Oh, no.
Because
no.
stinky popcorn breath, you are straight up screwed.
I think he
Yeah.
just got the light,
Well,
pat on the back
not
kind of
really.
hug.
Not screwed.
Not screwed.
So but a hug.
just like a little
Like,
yeah,
One
one
of
of
those
those
awkward hugs.
Yeah.
That's
thanks.
Like
Funny.
a lean out hug.
Yeah.
I have to defend my honor here because
I'm sorry.
no, it's because Stephanie and I went to high school basically every semester, minus 1 or 2.
Yeah, we've been
semesters.
friends for almost 20 years.
Yeah,
now?
long,
it's been a
long
long
time. We're old.
Very
Yeah.
old enough to say
Sounds
20
like
years
it.
ago.
What did you say? 20 years ago? 20 years ago?
Almost.
Really?
Yeah,
It's like
almost.
12, 13 years old.
Yeah, so a little under.
Yeah.
Anyway, and you're talking about senior year.
Yes.
All right, because that's
Yes.
when we both
That's
had
when we
moved out to
Yep.
Utah, and my senior year was the moment where I decided that I was going to grow a pair, metaphorically. Although I was a late bloomer, so I guess it could have happened at that time too.
I was going to ask you to elaborate on that. But
And so I decided, I was going to put myself out there and try to, make friends and date and do all that and do all those cool things like a cool kid. But my senior year was the year that I experienced the most rejection.
Nuh-uh.
For real.
No way.
Yeah.
You had a ton of game. I remember. Those girls liked you.
Well,
I believe it.
yeah, I might have had game, but it's like you're the funny friend. You're not like dating material. You're the funny friend,
No.
right? And so,
Rachel. Mr. Manager.
Right, Mr. Manager?
so just a couple of I remember there was a girl that I really liked. She worked at a frozen yogurt and sandwich place. People here in Utah will understand. It's Hoagie Yogi, right? And I would go, every single time I knew she was working, at least once a week, right? To go see her and hang out, just be cool with her, right? Every once in a while, buy a sandwich or buy a ice cream. We would just sit there and joke. But this girl was just never interested in actually going out on a date with me. Be like, hey, look, we should hang out. She goes, no, I mean, if we're with a group of guys, other group maybe. So that was one. I'm like, whatever. Okay, screw you. I'm
Moving on.
And then another girl I was really interested in. Awesome, hilarious girl. Her and I carpooled to school our senior year. I decided, I was really gonna, try to woo her. And we would hang out all the time, right?
I think that's your problem right there.
And so, I have a thing with looking at the stars, like stargazing or whatever. And so I would go up on my roof and look at the stars, right, Mr. Manager. And I told her, we were hanging out when I was like, hey, let's just go hang out on the roof. She goes, okay. And I wasn't trying to get frisky or anything, so I said, hey, I just want to let you know, I'm really interested. I'd really like to date you. And then she had the,
Oh.
I'm not interested in that. And then we're stuck on my roof
Oh, no.
after.
So
Oh,
you said this
no.
right when you got up on the roof?
Well, we were up there hanging out for a little bit, looking at
Yeah.
stars and just just what friends do. And
I've never done that with friends.
That's
Come up
'cause-
to my roof. and we can look at the
John always
stars.
asked me to stargaze with him.
Anyway, so this was my senior year, right? But in my senior year, I did have a steady girlfriend, and and this girlfriend, it all started with a breakup with Mr. Manager. Actually, Mr. Manager had recently broken up with me, and I was
So-
heartbroken.
So it was the rebound. Okay. All right. That's fine. That's good.
No judgment here.
I just shot my story out of the sky.
No, I'm just saying I'm just gathering the information.
Okay, so Mr. Manager dumps me, and I'm heartbroken, right? Because look at her. I mean, she's awesome.
That was very nice of you.
I go and I'm hanging out with all my friends, and there's this one girl who we're kind of hitting it off, and next thing I know, everyone leaves because it's late at night, and her and I are still talking and just having a good time. And next thing I know, it's like that moment where in the movie where you're like, the two people look at each other and they realize
Something's going to happen.
yeah, it's time to make out, or
It's time.
yeah, right,
Whichever.
yeah. And then next thing I know, we're making out on her trampoline, and a couple hours later, had to go home. Right?
Get some chapstick.
Well, it started snowing, so I was like, oh, probably gotta stop. So went home, and I felt so awful about. I said because I didn't want her, because she was a wonderfully nice person. I didn't want her to think that I was, that guy trying to take advantage of and just, a NICMO, right? A non-committal makeout session. and so after that night, I was always asking her, like, hey, like, are we good? Are we still friends? She goes, yeah. I said, well, I'm really interested in dating you because I didn't want to be that guy who just made out with their friends and just, was that weirdo, that horn dog
The guy that
senior.
makes out with his friends.
Yes, Josh, I'm not one of those guys. I will commit.
You liar.
And I had to convince her to actually end up dating me. So I
You had to talk her into dating you?
Yeah, I did. I had to talk her into it, and she's like, "Fine, whatever."
So
And
she wanted to be just the make-out friend.
I think so.
Oh.
And that turned out to be the longest relationship I've ever had with someone other than a committed relationship, other than with Mr. Manager.
So you said you wanted to date her, really, because you felt guilty.
No, I mean, I was interested in dating her, but also I felt like it's got to happen now because we already made out.
Yeah. Yep.
So
That's a big step.
So we better get married. Cause
Yeah, right. That's a huge step.
I mean, no, it's, in my mindset, I was
You
so
got all
screwed
built
up.
up in your head, and you went through like we got to get married now.
Well, there wasn't a
We
lot
should
of
make
making out in the teenage years. So when it happened, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
right?
it was.
Yeah.
It was basically like, oh my God, this is serious.
This is we just went all the
She's
way.
gonna have my baby.
we just went to third base.
We just made out. I hope she doesn't get pregnant.
Anyway, so that was that's the story.
No, that's you felt a little guilty. I get it.
Anyway,
If that happened to me, I don't know. If that ever happened to me, I don't know if I would have felt
I just
guilty.
I wasn't this like I do like women.
You
and
weren't-
I like
you
being
weren't
friends
this-
with women,
You
but
weren't whoring around, making out
Right.
with random
I
girls.
think
You-
that says a lot about you, though.
Yeah.
That you would feel guilty instead of like, oh yeah, I just totally.
I'm like score.
Yeah.
back then, you would have felt guilty.
Yeah, back then.
Good point. Okay.
Yeah.
We're a little over or about 30 minutes in. So let's you guys want to do one more?
Yeah.
You got another
I'm
one,
good.
Steph?
Yeah. I got
Okay.
one more.
Okay.
We'll just go back around.
Yeah.
Josh, it's all you.
So this one, I'll try to sum it up as best I can, but it's gonna get a little dark with this. Mr. Manager, are you playing with your phone during the podcast?
You should be producing right now.
Yeah. Don't you have some paperwork to do? Okay, so this is about 11th grade, and there's this girl that I'm not going to say names, but if she finds out I'm talking about this, it might get bad.
Let's call her John.
Oh, you wanted to say that for a long time now. Like, envision yourself as a past girlfriend of mine, right?
Do you want to go steady?
Yes.
Let's do a podcast together.
Okay, great. So I don't know how I initially started dating. I think somehow I asked her to a dance or something. This part of it's long, but essentially I asked her to a dance, but I never really liked her a lot, but I asked her to a dance because I think I kind of was guilted into it, anyway. So we went on to a dance, no big deal, but then after that, she kind of just didn't go away. Like, we just all of a sudden were dating. We never really made anything official, but we just were dating.
I'm seeing a trend from your first story to this one.
No, it'll take a turn.
You're just automatically dating for some reason.
Yeah, no, this one, there wasn't the grapevine. We just were. So we just kept, she wanted me to like hang out all the time and we would date, whatever. And then it started to get a little bit weird because she started to say things that just didn't seem right, like almost like she was just making things up, like stories, just random stories that she would just make up. And I kind of just blew it off like, that sounds weird, but okay. And then it started coming full circle. Like, she would start telling things to my friends. Like, one friend, she told that, I don't know how it came up, but that she kept, like, a gun under her pillow at night for people that would break in. And I was like, and the friend told me, I was like, I've been over there and I don't remember seeing any guns.
You're like, I've been all over that bed, and that's
No,
not...
that's the thing, is I wasn't, but that's
Okay.
that's not even it. And then, like, another friend, she had told me that she had talked to a friend about us, like, being together, and this whole conversation with this friend. And I went to the friend after, and I was like, "Did you talk to her about us being together and all this stuff?" He's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never talked to her alone." So that's kind of was like a little bit of a red flag.
Okay.
So this went on. I mean, with different stories, like, she would tell my friends and me, and it just kind of got weird. So I finally, after dating her, I guess, for a while, I built up the courage to go over there and just break up with her. I did.
Knowing that she could possibly have a gun in her house.
I did it in her room, actually, right in her room.
That's
Smart.
ballsy.
Yeah. So I knew the gun probably wasn't there because that was a lie. So I
Because he had been all over that bed.
yeah, totally.
Okay.
So went over there and I broke up with her in so many words, and I just went in a room and was like, yeah, I think it'd be better if we were just friends and whatever. So I left and, like, oh, okay, finally, like, this is all built up. Finally did it. Went home. A little bit later, her and her mom come back together.
Her mom.
And by the way, her mom was, like, convinced we were gonna be together because they would, like, talk about our wedding and stuff,
Oh,
and like
gosh.
different things. So they came back.
I've had a girlfriend's mom.
and
same way.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, they knock on the door, so I go out and we're talking in her car. So her mom's in the driver's seat, I'm in the passenger, and she's in the back, like, crying and stuff, and saying, like, basically talking about like how could, like, what was wrong, what did we do or whatever. I'm like, well, you're her mom, so finally, like, I'm like we're in 11th grade, like, we're gonna have tons of different girlfriends, which didn't happen, but. So finally, so, like, they drove away, and then the next morning, like, all the stuff that had gotten her and stuff was all over my driveway, and, like,
Oh,
they
geez.
had returned that, and then, like, a couple days later, I don't know if this is connected, but, like, my window was broken in my parking lot at the school.
You don't know if it's
Jeez.
connected, but you're insinuating that it was,
Yeah,
possibly.
Possibly.
Okay.
So there's that, and so all that was weird and fine, but the last part of it is, well, not to mention that later she told my friend that she was pregnant with my kid,
Oh,
but
wow.
we never did anything.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
You knew her bed pretty well.
Yeah, I did. So yeah, the last thing to wrap it up, I was watching the news a couple of years later, and it was a story, and I recognized her, and it was a story of her getting kidnapped by, like, some guys, but in her car, and they were going to kidnap her and have her drive them to some different area, like Vegas or something.
Oh my god!
And her dog had, like, saved her or whatever. So it's this story. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. Like, that's like an insane story. But to mind you, she was a liar about everything. A couple days later, there was another news story about how she was being charged with falsifying information or lying to the cops. So, and I didn't watch the news that much, but I caught both stories.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Wow.
Like, and it even telling it is hard to understand, like, how weird the whole thing was. But, like, that end part is, like, how it sums it up.
Jeez.
That
That's a little
this
bit
is
scary.
those are stories for why we date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you
You
go.
don't
Everyone
want to
wants-
marry the crazy.
Yeah.
So luckily, her and her mom's plans didn't go through.
Well,
Jeez.
I'm sure you would have made a lovely couple.
Yes. Anyway, there you go.
I'm a little weirded out.
Isn't that okay? Yeah. So
Okay.
it's a long story,
That's a
but
good
just
one.
had to get it off our chest, right? We're just getting it out in the open.
Absolutely.
Glad we could help you through that.
Yeah.
We've all had a
Therapy.
little bit of therapy tonight, haven't we?
All right, Steph, what do you got?
Okay. Well, my husband and I, in the beginning, we had a lot of, I don't want to say disastrous, but some pretty interesting dates. And I think I've already told you, John, this story before. But our first date was probably the most memorable of all of them.
I
I've
know this
already
story.
talked to him, and
Yeah.
he's cool if I share this with everybody. But so he lets me know before we go on our date. Like, he's calling me the day before and we're, hammering out the plan or whatever. He says, well, the very next day after I take you out, I have to go in for a colonoscopy. You always count on me for a good poop story, right?
Yeah, this is
And I said, okay, well, that's okay. Are you sure you want to go? He says, oh, yeah, that's fine. We'll go. And so he comes to my house the night of our date, and he has one hand, a bouquet of colorful roses, which I thought was really cute. And in his other hand, he has his pre-colonoscopy solution that he has to drink. He's got some skills, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
totally knows how to woo a
Right?
woman, right?
The thing I always appreciated about him was that he's always just been himself. Like, there's no kind of awkwardness. It's always just been very normal and
An
comfortable.
open book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely. Which I really liked that. And so he brings it over and he says, I have my thing tomorrow, so would you mind if I drink this at your house? I'm like, oh, that's fine. Neither one of us fully knowing, we're 18 and 19 years old. And we don't really know what this is for. We just know it's like the procedure thing that he has to do. So, we said, here, have some Sprite, drink it with some Sprite. So he does that. And we leave on our date. Again, another bad first date, going to a movie thing. And we just happened to pick Lord of the Rings 3, which is like, what, a 3-hour movie? It's like the longest of all of them.
It's a long movie if you have to poo during.
Exactly. And so we get there and I'm feeling pretty good and I reach into my pocket and I find $1. I'm like, sweet, like this is going to be a good night. It's like an omen or something. It's going to be a good night. So we go and we get our popcorn, which I didn't go through any bad popcorn breath, so it's not that kind of story. But we're watching this movie and it's a loud movie. There's a lot of fight scenes and everything, and we're sitting there and everything is great. And I hear this sound, this super deep, grumbly, horrible sound.
Right
and
from his ass.
Right. No. It was coming from him, but not from there. And I look over and I see him grab his stomach and just lean over. And I'm like, oh no, what is going on? So we wait a few more minutes and I hear it again. And I look over and I'm like, are you okay? And he was like, oh, my stomach just really hurts. And I'm like, do you think it was that thing you drank? And he was like, I don't know. Probably. That was a bad idea. And I'm like, that was a bad idea. And so a couple more minutes and it keeps going. Finally, he says, you'll have to excuse me. So he steps over me and he goes out and he uses the restroom. I'm sitting. It's no big deal. I get it. I get intestinal problems,
Sure,
you know.
Even-
And so,
all of us do, Josh.
yeah,
Yeah.
it happens. It
Yeah.
happens. And, I knew it was super embarrassing for him. I mean,
Of course.
really embarrassing.
Yeah.
And so he goes and, does his thing. And a little while later, he comes back. And I'm just enjoying the movie. I'm a fan of the movies. So I'm fine just watching the show without him. And, he keeps having to leave through the movie. He missed 3/4 of the movie probably because he was in the restroom.
It's a long movie
It's
too.
a really long movie. And I felt so bad. And every time he came back, I said, should we go? Like, are you okay? We can do this another time. He's like, no, I'm good. We can do this. Trying to be a tough guy and make it through the night. And so he had explosive diarrhea.
Well, yeah.
Like Satan's lava was coming out of this man. like it was bad. It was really bad. And I took some pity on him, and because I understand it's so embarrassing, especially on a first date. And so, we get in the car, and he was like, "I'm so sorry. I am so sorry." I'm like, "It's okay. It's okay." I said, "It happens." I'm like, "You can make up for it on our second date, our second first date." And he was like, "I get another date." And I'm like, "You get another date. Like I understand. It's okay."
And I'll marry you.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, then I dragged him along for 3 years and dated him for 3 years because I didn't know what the heck I wanted, but I married him.
Well,
That's a good
that's
story.
pretty-
Yeah,
that's
it
pretty
ended
impressive.
well. It
Yeah.
ended well, but our
Yeah.
first date was
Even with the devil's
Covered in-
lava, he still
covered in poo.
married him.
Covered in lava poo.
I mean, I feel for him because
Man,
I've
Can
had
you
my
imagine-
issues,
yeah.
but not like that. Nothing explosive that I remember, but
just think of drinking like a tub of like Miralax.
Yeah,
and
right
then
before
trying,
a date.
and trying to make it through a movie with a girl you're trying to impress.
Yeah.
well,
Like-
even if you're trying to make it through a movie without farting with the girl I'm
Oh,
trying
man.
to
Oh yeah,
impress,
Oh,
I,
yeah.
that never. I can never make it through a movie without farting.
well, I could, but without severe stomach ache after.
No, I just let her. You just hope that you're sitting on a nice cushy thing so it like
Well, then
absorbs
you do
the
it,
fart.
and then you like and then you like
smell
you'll
over
look
the popcorn breath.
you look at her and kind of like give like the confused look, like if who just farted
is
in here.
It's like, oh my god, someone in here is an animal.
See, that's why you be sure to sit like around someone at least, just to make sure that you could blame someone else or
you're-
her, I guess.
Yeah.
Stephanie knows all about. Oh, we didn't even mention.
Oh yeah, you
Oh my
farted in my
goodness.
face.
Yeah,
Yep, I'm the girl that he farted in the face.
and that girl that got
We're
farted
still-
in the face.
We're still friends. I still
That's
love you.
bad. You got farted in the face.
I feel
by
really
John.
embarrassed that I've just brought that up to like
That's
make sure we
okay.
talk about
No,
it.
it just shows our history.
Oh my god,
We can make it through
it
farting in faces.
It hurts my heart.
It's okay.
Anyway, okay.
It was okay then. It's okay now.
It wasn't okay then. You probably lost a couple years of your life by breathing that in.
I have a very gassy husband, so I'll probably die young anyway.
Okay, well, Josh, you mentioned about dances, right? Like school dances,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, I don't know if this is the normal way that those dances go, but usually you go like if you're in a group, right? Because all of us went to dances as groups,
Yeah.
right?
Typically.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep.
I know Stephanie and I have.
Yes.
We've gone to dances together.
He's my senior prom date.
That's right. We went to senior prom together,
We sure did.
and then we've gone to dances in the same
Forever,
group,
Forever.
but not as a couple.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never as a couple except for prom.
So, and Josh, you and I have never gone to dances together as a couple.
Not yet. No.
As a couple.
Not yet. Yeah.
But-
There's
but-
one coming up though.
Your experience is the same, right? You go as a group,
Yeah. Mostly as a group. Yeah.
Like,
not
never-
not pairing off or anything like that.
Not that I think maybe one I just did was a girl, but mostly as a group. Yeah.
Okay, but usually before the dance, you have a dinner, right?
Yeah.
But and then before the dinner, did you guys do like a date?
like a fun activity.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
usually,
that-
if I did it, I'd plan something for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of my dating experiences was there was this there's a dance. I don't remember what dance it was. I don't think it was a girl's choice or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
Probably not.
all of my friends. I had a bunch of friends who were female, and they were asking me if I was going to the dance, and I said no. I mean, I didn't really want to ask anybody at the time, and whatever. I don't have any money, whatever it was. Just a lame boy. And they said, well, listen, there's a girl who's part of the dance committee, right? And she gets free tickets to the dance. They're really selling these free tickets, and she doesn't have a date. She can't find anybody. So why don't you just go with her? And I said, I don't even know this girl. I don't know her name. I don't know what she looks like or anything. And even to this day, I still don't remember. I don't know her name. I don't. It's not in my brain anywhere. But I said because they said, listen, like she really wants to go, and again I was like, well, whatever. Let's do it. We'll have a fun time. And honest to God, I don't remember anything about this. It's completely like gone from my memory. I don't remember anything about the day when we went on an activity together as a big group, the dinner, or the dance.
But you took her.
Well, because you have the little pictures that they
Yeah.
right that
yeah,
they
like
take.
yeah.
Because it's me, and her sitting there, and I don't remember anything other than it being so obviously so awkward.
Yeah.
It's like, hi, my name's John.
Well, she was kind of a pity date.
She was a very nice.
course.
I'm sure she was a nice girl, right?
I
But you
don't
don't remember.
But I don't remember.
Yeah.
Maybe she was a complete asshole.
But you would have remembered that,
Ma-
which maybe would have been better for her.
This
but-
is what I think. Maybe it was such a bland experience just overall, right? And I was just so apathetic towards it that my brain was just like, you're not remembering any of this.
But
Well-
you have the picture to prove that it happened.
Yeah, I
That
do.
is so weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
And I kind of want to go back in my yearbook and find her name now.
Maybe, I mean,
So-
obviously it wasn't very good because usually the only really times you remember stuff is if it was significant.
If it was really good or really bad.
Yeah, and it was, must have just been neither.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And it's not like this was early on in high school. This is another senior, a senior high school thing. So, I mean, and I don't have an awful memory. It's just,
Yeah.
she's just,
Just not important enough to remember.
Weird.
Yeah.
anyway. Steph, what were some of the things what were some of the dates that we went on in our groups before going to the dances? Do you remember?
Um,
Junior prom.
I know you took me to the Fun Dome, which is now not there. Wasn't that? Yeah, that was you. We went to the Fun Dome. Yeah, so memorable. I see the look on your
Yeah,
face. You
he
don't
has no
remember.
idea.
Is this
Yeah.
senior prom?
I don't remember. I barely remember that. Well, I remember we went to a Chinese place. No, that was homecoming. We went to homecoming too. People ask if we ever dated. We never dated.
We went to plenty of dances together.
Yeah, we went to a lot of dances. I remember we went to a fun Moroccan restaurant when we were still.
That
That
one
was
was
fun.
that was in Colorado.
That was in Colorado.
I remember that one.
I don't remember going on all the group dates though in Colorado. Do you remember going on group dates?
Yeah, I remember going on a couple of group dates. One of which where I took a girl who we all were making ice cream sculptures together. That was kind of the date.
That sounds fun.
I'm sure you were there.
I don't remember that.
But we were making ice cream sculptures together, and this girl, right, was interested in another boy in the group.
Oh, you gotta tell me this story later.
And
I don't remember
and I
this.
knew that, but I was still trying to win her over. Be like, hey, look, I'm way better than that guy.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't have anything of it.
Well, I
obviously.
think that's better than being the guy where it's just like the girl likes you and you pull her in and you pull her in, and then you're like, just kidding.
Like,
I had that happen to me.
See ya.
Yeah, I had that happen to me time and time and time again with the same guy, and that guy sucks.
Okay, one last question before we finish off. I have one question for you guys. If
Okay.
you have questions, then you can spit them out too. Did you guys have where you were only on a date once, where you ended it on a kiss? Josh?
Like, this is our first date?
Yeah, where at the first date you got a kiss.
No, never.
Did you get a butt grab?
Not from her. Just kidding.
Her dad
No.
came out.
Yeah. Her dad was very friendly.
Okay.
No,
No.
I even though, I mean, with just kissing, and my wife will tell you, like, to even think about trying to do that because I was so nervous with any girl. And most of the dates I went on, like, for any kind of school dance, the whole time I'd be thinking, like, am I going to kiss her at the end of the night? Going to give, like, a half hug, a handshake?
Well, that doorstep
get out of the
is
car.
so awkward when
Yeah.
the date's over. You're like,
So
what do I do?
awkward, yeah.
Yeah. I was the same way. Kissing was like, obviously, is a huge commitment.
Yeah, you had to. It was, yeah.
Right.
You would, before
ring
at the
shopping
doorstep, you
first.
say, so are we dating or not? Because I need to know before I get,
Yeah. Okay.
too much.
Steph?
No kisses. I had a very awkward, intimate hug with somebody, not by my choice.
An intimate hug?
Would they just not let go?
No, it was
like
was
he popped
so
a
much,
boner?
He probably could have. It was just a casual
Because that would
date.
make it awkward.
It was just a casual date. We went bowling, and at the end of the day, I thought everything was fine. Casual, normal friendship, whatever. And he was a shorter guy, like maybe 5'3", like barely taller
Oh.
than me.
I was going to say
And
there's
we
nothing
were-
wrong with that.
No. But he was barely. Hey, my husband's 5'6". I have nothing against that. But we were like shoulder to shoulder, hip to hip, knee to knee, and our feet were like interlocking. It was like,
You're getting some grind action going
yeah,
on.
it was like bologna in a package. We were just like right up against each other. Like it was,
That's
and it was
interesting.
long. It was very long. And finally, it was like I felt like I had to like peel my body off of his because I was like,
That's
okay.
super awkward.
Well, yeah, I felt like it was just a fun friendship kind of date, and then at the end, it was like baby making kind of hug. Like I didn't really know what to do. It's like,
baby
well,
making hugs.
Baby
well,
making
thank
hug.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't think about this until you said it, but I always would overanalyze just like even hugs and stuff. Like, are we accidentally gonna like go the same way with our faces, or is my hug gonna be too long or too short or
Too baloney like.
too side hug,
Too baby making like.
too baby making like?
Yeah, these are all questions that people have to work through when they're, venturing into that dating, into the quantum mechanics of dating. These are the
Yes,
quantum mechanics
That's right.
of dating.
It's very.
I think you just have to be normal. Be yourself.
See, that's
I
the
mean,
problem.
that's
Is you're
how it
not.
is. Mm-hmm.
You are known as normal on a date. Like you're. I mean, pretty much. You think on
I
your
feel
first
like
dating,
I am because I just don't care. Like you don't like it, then sorry.
But
I have a
that was
hard time
towards-
believing that.
That was at the end of your dating
Right.
career.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I dated for like 5 minutes of my life, so yeah, there wasn't a lot of
So the
dating.
last 4 minutes
I was
of your
like,
life.
you know what, whatever.
But I think like first, maybe when you date person more and more, because even with my wife, when we first date, like I feel like I wasn't myself. Like, you feel like it's just like a spotlight on you, but in reality, both of you are worried more what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for maybe if they do have like the popcorn breath or the talking,
Or a boner hug.
or a or a boner hug, which
Not appreciated.
yeah, I wouldn't appreciate that either.
No.
Noted. Okay. I think we're good.
Yeah,
I mean, I actually have more stories, but we're
Yeah,
way over time.
Yeah.
As is.
yeah, I figured we're pretty much over time, but
Stephanie, thank you so much.
No, thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Been a long time listener. So thank you.
All 16 episodes.
Hey,
Yeah.
I've listened to everyone.
she's probably like number
Out of
number
the
1,
6
2, or
people
3
who,
of
yeah,
6.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because you can be number 1.
We could.
I'd appreciate
Bump you
that.
to
Could be
one.
my nickname.
number
Number
1.
one. Yeah,
See how that came full circle? That was amazing.
yeah.
We should end
Success.
now. We should end
yeah,
now.
we should end now. We should stop talking and just end it right now.